And it's okay if you're bunched up a little bit, but just come in so you can hear us because we want people to be close in the circle. Hey. Close in because we don't want to have to yell.
Yes, come on in. Help us all hear a little bit better. Come on in. Just come on in close.
Okay.
No signs, dog. We don't want to get put out.
No signs. Okay. All right. So we're just going to kind of like turn around and talk. Can folks hear us more or less right now? All right. Great. Thank you. So.
I can just get this over.
You kick this off. Yeah.
So we want to thank everybody coming out today. As a DC native, born and raised in the most marginalized area of Washington, DC, as you all see my hat in Acacia, where I'm sure majority of the senators or representatives have not even been to this neighborhood. So for them to come and actually attack our autonomy and our budget is it's ludicrous. And so we're here as Free DC, and we're going to build, and this is a movement, not a moment. And we're here to actually protect DC home rule and let them know that we can govern ourselves. So right now I'm going to turn it over to the executive, Alex, one of the other co-founders, Alex Dodd, and I'm Nene Teller. I'm a co-founder also of Free DC in Kenya. And so Alex, you can give them some more.
What's up, Free DC? I'm glad to be with everyone today. We're here because Congress is voting on a bill that would restrict DC's ability to set our own budget. And not only would that mean over $1 billion in cuts right now that would be devastating for the programs that we all use every day, it also sets a horrible precedent that jeopardizes DC's autonomy and our ability to manage our own budgets and our own programs in the future. That's not okay. And we're here today to visit senators and tell them to vote no on this continuing resolution that interferes in DC in ways that we haven't seen for over a generation. DC manages our finances responsibly. We are an incredible city full of people who are joyful and powerful and deserve to be able to set our own budgets. I'm proud to live in the District of Columbia, and for all of the people who are here, we are worth fighting for. The people of DC. We deserve the right to set our own priorities just like any other community. And so that's what we're here to talk to senators about today. We are going to go to visit the Senate offices and tell them about this issue. We're going to talk about what matters to us as DC residents, because this is going to interfere in everything that we want to do as a city, as a district. No matter what program you use, if you have kids in schools, if you ride Metro, if you use any of the public services that the District of Columbia makes available, this is going to be a problem. So we're going to talk to them today, and my colleague Kay is going to share a little bit more about what our plan is for today.
Great, thank you. So how many people here just did a little role play of going into an office? All right, how'd that go?
Fine.
Good. All right, so what we're gonna, you all practiced a little bit of what this experience is gonna look like. You're gonna walk into an office, you're gonna find like a 20-something-year-old intern, and you're gonna say that you want a meeting, and as Alex said, you're gonna tell your story. We're gonna talk about how the next step of this process is what we need them to stop. Like there has to be a line where this kind of authoritarian power grab stops, and that line is what is called the cloture vote. So in a very, very short way of saying this is what we're asking people to do is vote no on cloture. That's a very simple way of saying it. What it means is that the cloture vote is the time when they need 60 votes for something to pass. If that passes and they only need 50 votes, we're not going to be able to stop this. And so we want to be able to stop this now, because if this goes through, this is just them making a first step towards a power grab. This is an authoritarian power grab, and if we let them get away with this, then we've just paved the way for more. Now how many people have been to a Free DC orientation? Amazing. So we want more people to come to orientation, because we will keep going no matter what. We will keep organizing, because this is an amazing community and we are worth defending, and we know how to do this. Just like they're following an authoritarian playbook, we are following an anti-authoritarian playbook, and all of you are part of stopping this coup today. So thank you so much for being here. So what we're going to do right now So just so folks know, we have one crew that has already gone to Senator Schumer's office. We went to Senator Schumer's office first as soon as we had enough people to go, because Senator Schumer right now is not whipping votes for a no vote on cloture. And so the Democrats actually largely held together last night, thanks to how many people were here yesterday at the House walking around to offices. Thank you. So we actually did reasonably, we lost, but it might have been much worse had we not been visiting folks. And so I think it's really important to understand that the Dems largely held together yesterday in the House. There was just one we lost, and they lost one Republican. But right now that is not what is happening in the Senate. And it's not happening because they're afraid that they'll be blamed for a government shutdown. And our message has to be it's okay to shut down the federal government for a few days to stop an authoritarian power grab. Let's fix this. Our Congresswoman Eleanor Holmes Norton tried to put forward an amendment that would actually allow us to spend our own locally raised dollars. It was not accepted in the Rules Committee. How many people were there at the Rules Committee as we watched that unfold? I know I see some people. And so we know that there's a quick amendment that could fix this on the Senate side too. There's absolutely no reason for them to rush forward and allow this to go forward. It's bad on many counts. So that's basically our message today. I want to take a second, and basically we're going to go in groups of 15. And so I want to take a second. We're just going to have to organize ourselves into clusters of 15 in a moment, and then I'm going to go to each of those clusters and give you all a direction of actually where you're going. So can you raise your hand again if you already did a role play? So if folks have already done a role play, can you stand over by that sculpture back there? Okay, no. Yeah. Yes. And
They don't know from visuals. It's like all you do is line up all the people in the free DC that becomes visual.
Could be, yeah.
so
Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. So as she said, we role play, please go over there, because we're going to get people who actually, so if you've never done this before, you will be going with someone who's experienced, so that you know. And we're going to ask that we want to keep each other safe. So please, no one consented to be arrested here. No, 3DC is not consenting that you hold signs up or anything in that nature under the Free DC campaign. So please respect the right of people, citizens, of the people who came who did not consent to be put out or arrested. We're coming here to protect DC home rule and our autonomy and tell the Congress to mind their budget and not DC.
Okay, so for folks who are over here who have not yet done a role play practice, right? That's all. Everybody here has not yet done a role play practice. So come on in. We're just going to do a little bit of a role play. That's different. Yes, this is for. So come on in.
Role play. If you have a role play, you can come over here. Anybody who have a role play, come over here.
Hey, Allegra, can you come over here and help me? Yeah. So we're going to just role play a little bit, if you're willing, to show everybody. So we're going to go into the Senate offices in groups of 15, and we're going to walk up, and I'm going to say, hi, is the member of Congress here? Is the senator here right now?
No, he's not available, sorry.
Oh, okay. Is the chief of staff here?
No, sorry, they're not available either.
Oh,
Sorry, are you a constituent?
I'm a resident of the District of Columbia, and I'm here to talk about cloture that's happening later today, and the provisions within the district about the district budget that I'm very worried about. Will they be back in a little while?
I'm not actually sure. It's a really busy time for us, as you know, so I can go ahead and ask someone, but if you could just leave a second.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Why don't you go ahead? We'll wait. Okay? And if the person asks to learn a little bit more, so we're going to break into pairs and just practice talking about what's in this bill and what we want to talk about DC. So find a person next to you who you don't know, and we're just going to practice talking about this bill and what's in it. Does anyone feel like you need a little bit of a refresher before we do that? Okay, great. So what passed the House yesterday was a bill that is missing a very key piece of information. It is missing a provision that grants DC the authority to manage our own budget. This has been included in every continuing resolution for the last 2 decades.
Nothing was not federal money either.
Yes. So it is not, this has nothing to do with federal funds. This is DC's ability to manage DC dollars. The tax money that the district collects from DC residents and businesses, Congress for the last 20 years has said, we grant DC the authority to administer that yourselves. We recognize that that's too much work for Congress. You all know better what your communities need. We grant you that authority. This bill is missing that language, which means Congress has the authority. Congress is keeping the authority for itself, which is very concerning. It means huge cuts to local budgets, over $1 billion immediately. We are operating under a fiscal year budget, which has already been approved by Congress. It has already been approved. We are halfway through the fiscal year, and now, 6 months in, they are saying, just kidding, we revoke this authority. So that is $1 billion of budget cuts immediately to our schools, emergency first responders, transit, all kinds of key programs. It would be devastating for the programs that we all use. It also opens the door to 2 things. Number one is more interference from Congress in the future because they are keeping that power. They're basically saying, we're going to interfere in this budget as much as we want, in DC's budget, as much as we want. The other thing that it would do is it would classify DC as a federal agency, which we are not. People live here. Children are not residents of federal agencies. That is not who we are. It's not appropriate to classify us as a federal agency. But that means that if the federal government ever shuts down, DC is going to shut down too, because we will be connected in that way and not exempt. So for all of those things, we oppose this continuing resolution and the provisions that it needs to be changed. So in small pairs, I want you both to practice saying that to your partner and your neighbor. And we'll just take some time to do that. We're going to take 5 minutes to practice that. Yes. So.
What's the name?
Okay, so while they're kind of continuing to prepare there, let me just kind of summarize what all is actually happening, because this isn't really a demonstration so much like I normally cover, more like a kind of activists assembling to lobby, right? So people are assembled here over the issue of the continuing resolution to fund the government, which narrowly passed the House with the support of all Republicans except for Thomas Massie. And I believe no Democrats, or maybe it was, I think they said there was one Democrat actually voted for it. So nearly party lines. But then it has to go through the Senate, where it actually requires 60 votes, which the Republicans don't have 60 senators out of 100. And so my understanding is that would require essentially 8 or so Democrats. If all the Republicans vote for it, it would require 1 or 2 more Democrats. If you have a Republican no, such as Rand Paul, who has signaled that he will vote no. And so these folks are saying basically that they're going to visit congressional offices to say that that the Democrats should vote no. And the reason for that is that this bill does not include a provision which has been in place for a couple decades now, that is often called home rule, that basically means that DC folks get to control their own budgets. So because they can control their own budget, right, like essentially it's autonomy from the federal government. What these folks are saying is that if this continuing resolution passes, as written, then then DC loses essentially its autonomy. They were saying that in effect Washington D.C. would become, a federal agency, and that, like, if there was a government shutdown, then D.C. would shut down. And so what they're essentially asking for is the sovereignty of D.C. And to be clear, D.C. collects its own taxes, much like a state. And so they're not talking about the use of or expenditure of federal dollars. What they're talking about is taxes collected in D.C. being able to be budgeted and so forth by Washington, D.C. itself. So what they basically said is they're preparing right now. I think they said it's going to take 5 minutes, which is why I'm talking to you right now, but that they're going to start heading to some senators' offices.
We'll just wait. We'll wait until someone is available to talk to us. When, at some point, hopefully, they will have someone come and talk to you. A legislative person. We would love it if you could find out when the vote is scheduled for. Any information. Where does this senator stand on cloture? Cloture, as you heard Thea say, is the procedural thing that needs to happen. We want them to vote no on cloture. That comes first, before the full vote. So the first thing we want to find out is when is the cloture vote, and will they vote no? If you find out, we're going to break into groups of 15. We're going to ask 1 or 2 people from the team to get into a signal chat, and we want to hear what you learn in the offices. And if they say that they can't meet with you, you just wait, and they will wait, and for them to share the update. So we're going to break into groups of 15, find the people closest to you, and get into a group of 15.
Do we have some people to come? Anyone need a group with us? Anybody need a group? Any other group? Give us some assignments.
Oh, are you Virginia? I haven't had a border question. I'm in Virginia, so I was wondering if I should just go to Virginia senators. Are you all going to Virginia?
Megan, you're in charge. Okay, so are you in this Marshall? Okay, great. You all are going to go to Senator Gabriel Warnock's office. We are pretty not necessarily going to know him. So, like, he is a Democrat, super wait until they are. So if you're in the chat, and then find out as much information you can about when the cloture vote is scheduled for, when they might be, whether he's planning to vote no. We know that for the senators in the DMV area, in Virginia and Maryland, they have a lot of federal workers. And they're very worried about shutting down the federal government because they know that a lot of people will get furloughed and be out there for years. So we want them to understand that the District of Columbia is a centerpiece of their local economy. If we lose our budget autonomy and our ability to run our city, that's going to be bad for the region, right? Like Maryland is not going to do good if DC can't respond to fires. So that's some important context, particularly for our DC, our Maryland and Virginia allies. So you all head up to captains. You're going to help the group go up to the Warner office.
My name's Michelle. Michelle, my name.
Other captains, you want to introduce yourself really quick? Yeah.
Sorry, Maggie.
Maggie. Terezi. Elias. You had a question.
I have a question. It's just a weird procedural question. Does cloture require 50 votes or 60 votes? 60.
So if we can block it at cloture, that's a lot easier than blocking it at 60 is a lot easier than blocking it at 50.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Let us know how it goes.
Yeah.
Team Warner. All right, head on out.
This guy here, I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, so we're gonna find Senator Warner's office, which I think is on the second floor. Oh, I could be totally wrong. Maybe it's on the seventh floor. We will search for it. This one's today.
703.
Yes, that sounds right.
You're sticking
Let's
with
go
this
to
group?
the south elevator.
I'm a Virginia resident, so.
Me too. I figured I'd do the same.
Oh,
actually.
cool. Yeah, maybe go in and talk, and well, if you want to be on camera, I can get you while you talk, and then vice versa.
No, I'm not lobbying anybody, but I'll.
Everyone ready to go?
But it is the most interesting to me, I think.
That particular senatorial office, you mean?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think also just because, like they were saying, because of the vicinity to.
Right. I agree.
Well, you better have taken the channel off. Yeah, God, that's
Also, honestly, if they bitch about a camera in the office, then it's easier when there's two of them.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
It spreads out the anger or whatever.
Good to know.
Everyone else was on contract.
Okay, I'll see you guys on the seventh floor.
Relatively privileged.
Can we get the next one?
Yeah.
Randy just sent it.
How many of you in Virginia? Who's from DC? Okay, sorry.
I was just like, I'm wanting to shut it down.
Yes,
It can't.
That's, I mean,
I'm not be
He was already shutting down the government by firing people.
Do you do media stuff or just rocking the great hat?
Sorry?
Do you do media work or just rocking
No,
the
no,
great
it's
hat?
just that. No, are you familiar with the program?
Of course.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean of course, but yes.
the cloture because we're all DC residents that are concerned about our budget being impacted, $1 billion of our budget or local budget being impacted by this provision.
Oh, okay.
I don't know where are we looking? 7-Eleven? No, wait. 7-Eleven this way. Yeah.
This is a fun office to come to every day. It's not stuffy at all.
I kind of just came early for this one. I'm going to the healthcare march at 11:30.
Ooh, good to know.
Yeah, that's starting at Union Station, basically, and then they march back to here, and then they're kind of rallying somewhere here at the Capitol.
Is that, I saw some Doctors Against Genocide people. Is that?
I don't think that that's related.
They're probably
to
coming
that.
here.
I think they're kind. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of different people with a lot of different issues to talk
Yeah,
about today.
absolutely.
Kind
Are you
of.
with the group?
News to Share is the name of my thing.
And what is...
It's my own YouTube, Facebook.
They've been around for a long time, covering everything.
All kinds of political activism and stuff.
Anything's happening, they're there.
I try.
Have you
We're
been at the
Ford's
Tesla
there.
takedowns?
I haven't been at one of those yet. No.
Yeah, we go Tuesdays and Saturdays on South Glebe in Arlington. Tuesdays are 4 to 6, Saturdays 2 to 4. We've had like 60 to 80 people depending on the day.
I saw Mr. Trump was like saying that he wants to call that like a terrorist thing yesterday.
Before we go in, does anybody especially have a story that they would want to share with Warren's office? I want to make sure to let you have the space to share that.
I mean, just a quick note, I don't know, Virginia residents who are thinking about this, so accessory dwelling units are coming up in Virginia, whether to allow accessory dwelling units or not. And I had to get up and talk to city council being like, we have no idea what's going to happen. So we literally need to be talking about giving people the opportunity to put homes in their backyard. These people are gonna get fired, people are gonna have to move out of the city, it's gonna just be chaos. So I don't know if that resonates with people, but just getting to those like Virginia issues of.
Yeah. I think that would be a great point to bring up. Okay, anybody else? Or we can just take it by.
I mean, I work with the city council.
Yeah.
So I'm in human services. I'm not here in my official capacity, obviously, but just want to share like the $28 million cut that would have effect if this passes on the Department of Human Services budget, and also like all of the work that goes into creating a balanced budget year over year, and
that we balance our budget. Yeah. Okay, I think those are both great points, and others just be thinking of like, what's your strongest point that you want to bring up if you have an opportunity to speak.
And just one more question. I mean, we obviously have cameras here. Is there anybody who does not want to be on camera? You just raise your hand. So 1, 2.
Can I ask where the camera's from?
News to share. I basically do live streaming and political activism stuff.
And
so
Spanish media, Univision.
Oh, okay, hi. They might not allow you to film in the office, so just be aware of that.
They were pretty nasty on Monday.
I was there Monday too.
Okay, and you saw the staff would like turn around and walk back mid-sentence?
Oh no, I did not see that.
Yeah.
I was in that group.
I don't think they're supposed to not let you film though, right?
Inside.
Inside the Senate office. Like when we're in the hall out here, then it's free game. But once we cross the door,
They can basically ask the police to come and take you away. Like if it seems like it's making a friction, like they'll talk to you, but like get the camera. Like I'll leave so it doesn't make a problem for you if that's necessary.
Right, and I'm sure you are all polite and respectful people, but once we're in the office, we want to be polite. We don't want to block anybody's way. We want to make sure that kind of there's aisles clear for people to come in and out because we don't want to be seen as disruptive and thrown out. Okay, so let's head on in. Let's do it.
Yeah, no, it's like mid-sentence, the staff were turned around and walked back in.
I don't even see. Big party.
Do you want to go out right now? Can we just stand out here for game?
Yeah, they can stop you.
He said Will's gone for the day.
To my folks watching, they basically just went inside the office and they kind of said, "We'll talk to you," but like that they wouldn't have a camera stay inside. So I'm not going to just stream from outside where you can't actually hear anything, but I'll stick around outside and hopefully talk to them.